A consumer alert for you here this morning. As cuts are made to the Department of Education, the president has said he wants to put that power back in the state's hands because they know what their students need the best, right? So when it comes to getting your financial aid for college, whether it's a Pell Grant or it's loans, the president has said core programs like those Pell Grants and aids will not be affected. But some still worry if they cut the workforce, will it be enough to keep the funds flowing? So join us now to answer some of those questions and options for parents wanting to prepare for any scenario. We have Matthew Carpenter, founder of College Aid Pro. Matthew, how you doing this morning?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
Hey, good to have you on. All right, so a lot of parents have questions about this. The president has said he wants to put the power back in the states because, look, they know in each individual state what their students need. How are you handling all this?
Well, I mean, first of all, I think we're bearing the lead a little bit. There's a lot of talk about, what happens if the federal government does not get involved in this anymore? What happens if they're not going to manage student loans? Is it going to be the Treasury? Is it going to be the SBA? But what we're really concerned about is what if they decide not to offer federal funding at all, specifically to parents? Because this is what they're saying, at least in between the lines. They're saying that, hey, the federal government should not be involved with loans anymore. We're going to pull away from this. I don't think they're going to pull away from student loans, but I do think they might pull away from what they offer to parents, which for 90% of parents, that's what they use when they need to borrow, specifically the Federal Plus loan. So if that happens, parents really need to pay attention to other options, and happy to talk about those.
Absolutely, because I remember back in the Stone Ages when I was in college, Pell Grant was it. That's the only thing you had in terms of a grant. Now there are so many scholarships available out there that none of us had before. So we've seen a lot of concern here over the last even 2 weeks about the recent stock market roller coaster. What is your biggest recommendation for parents or students who are looking at the cost of college right now? And by the way, the prices haven't gone down for institutions. They're going up, if anything.
$100,000 a year now, right? $100,000, dozens of colleges, $100,000 a year. And to your point, it's going up. Now, look, there's kind of two sets of parents getting ready to tackle this and students getting ready to tackle this. Those that are getting ready to go off to college and those that are in college. If we're getting ready to go off to college, the good news is colleges are going to continue to discount. It doesn't matter what the federal government does, right? They're going to continue to operate their businesses the way they have previously. Maybe there's some changes, but it's not going to be anything widespread. And a lot of people just don't know, right? You folks in the Cincinnati area probably don't know that if you're middle class or below, schools like Oberlin, Kenyon, Case Western, $90,000 colleges, but guess what? They're probably going to be more affordable or as affordable as Ohio State or University of Cincinnati. And again, very counterintuitive, not common knowledge. Your job as a consumer is to figure out, well, where do I fit in this financial aid scholarship spectrum, right? What are going to be great fits for my kids academically, geographically, et cetera, but also within our family's budget. And again, oftentimes that's counterintuitive. Now, if I'm a family that's already in college or I'm a class 2025 and we're just right at the finish line here, the first thing that I'm doing is figuring out, well, how can I borrow less? Have you gone back to negotiate with your college to get a better deal? Never accept that first offer. Now, don't use the word negotiate. We always have to use the word appeal, but do not accept that first offer. Bring that sticker price down so you're borrowing less, and then go be really smart and shop for the best rates.
100%, because it's just like buying a car. You got to make sure you're getting the best deal for your money because you're stuck with it for a while. Even when you're out of school, some folks, especially med students, can pay their loans back for up to 20 years. Federal loans tend to be the safer option in terms of interest rates and repayment terms. What are some of the other options that you have that's benefits are even similar, Matthew?
Yeah, and you know what, to your point, oftentimes federal loans are the recommendation because they're the most flexible, generally speaking, in terms of repayment options. Sometimes they're the best rate, not always, but these flexible options are being trimmed down or going away altogether. And again, we're seeing this trend, and it's happening quickly, that the federal government's getting out of this game, which means we got to go look for other options. Now, most people just think they're kind of stuck with the private sector. Should I take Sallie Mae versus SoFi versus College Ave, whatever it happens to be? Now, listen, do your homework, go shop for the best rate there. But what often gets overlooked here is state options. And about half of the states in the country have their own borrowing programs, whether you're a resident of the state or maybe you're not a resident, but you're coming to school in state. That makes you eligible to use that program. And there's three other ones that really don't get a lot of press that we want people to at least take a look at. Iowa, Massachusetts, and Rhode Island are 3 states that you can borrow through regardless of you're a resident or whether or not you're going to school in those particular states. So as families are doing their shopping, we want them to take a look at those options in addition to shopping around in the private sector.
Matthew, what's your website? Where can we go to get some more info from you? Because it sounds like you've got some great options there.
Yeah, it's collegeaidpro.com. So www.collegeaidpro.com, or we have a podcast called Simply Enough College.
Good stuff there. Matthew, thank you very much. Great to have you on with us this morning. I know a lot of folks will check out your site because they've got questions. All right, it's